This year is going to be starting over fresh because we're in a brand new space. We've got 4 times the audience, 4 times the pinball. We've got much bigger problems to deal with, and we've got much more opportunity to do something cool in this new big huge space. So yeah, it's gonna be like, you know, like hair falling out for about a week before and after, I think, the festival. Hopefully not after the festival.
I'm Belgian Jasper, and I'm mad with power! Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm super excited about Mad with Power Fest, which is just a few days away because I will be there. I'll be reporting from the festival, I'll be interviewing bands backstage, and I'll share photos and videos. I mean, 2 days of awesome music, free pinball everywhere, and some fantastic craft beer, which is interesting because the show is held in Madison, Wisconsin, and I always thought that, you know, sort of neighboring Minneapolis was the better beer scene.
Listen, if you think Minneapolis's craft beer scene is good, Madison blows it out of the wall. I am a beer, you know, I'm a beer nerd, and let me tell you, Madison has got some incredible breweries, and the beer selection just in Wisconsin, we are absolutely spoiled rotten.
Now you want to follow me on my Instagram, the handle is also Belgian Jasper, because for the next couple of days I'm gonna count down every day highlighting a band that is playing at the festival. Now, to get us in the right mood for the Mad with Power Festival, I compiled some fun little bits and pieces of recent and not so recent interviews with bands that I interviewed that are playing at the festival. I hope to see you at the festival. You know, if you're going, don't be afraid to come over and say hi. I'd love to meet all of you, and I look forward to a fantastic event. See you there.
Bang or Ty, thank you so much for your time this morning. Let's address that straight away. Who am I talking to here?
Oh, you're talking. It's the royal we, right? As we, you know, we're talking to both at the same time. No, you know, it's so obviously as immortal warriors, it can be difficult to blend into the crowd, you know, and so. Fang von Rathenstein, the problem with that name is that, unfortunately, I don't know if you've ever been to like the DMV or like getting your driver's license. They give you the boxes and you fill out your names, and there's no boxes that are long enough for Fang von Rathenstein. So I'm like, okay, I got to pick like a mortal alias, right? And what's the shortest name I can think of? And it's like Ty, T-Y, 2 letters, got it.
I know, just crazy to think about it. Like, we saw the Demons of the Astro Waste reissue, now we see the re-release of Apex. Does that mean that Unleash the Archers is now like a legacy old people band that is going to look backwards?
Yeah, next comes the Greatest Hits album, and then the
best
going
of,
on a business tour, the best of. Yeah, you know, we're it's been over a decade since the band has been together, and 5 years since Apex is just wild. Like, where's the time going?
You know, drawing the metaphor to the band, does that mean that you're a dandelion in the band?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I always got something to say. You know, I definitely noticed the women in the room. I would say so. I've always been a little bit of a clown, and I'm okay with that.
And I feel bad because it's kind of like, oh no, are we like bullying people into listening to us? Like, I don't know.
There's a lot of European fans that we see interacting with our video that comment things like, I'm surprised that you're an American band, or you know, it's shocking.
They mean that as a compliment.
Yes, yes.
One thing though that I just want to ask you, because if you follow you guys online, it doesn't take too long before people start referencing burgers with you in any way, shape, or form. So, is this an obsession, and where does it come from?
Okay, so it literally stems from the womb. Apparently last time I was here, I dug some cheeseburgers, so I had to come back for them. And my mom said she craved them so violently, like she would be crying while eating them, like, I hate cheeseburgers!
I could have done Al, but I don't feel like I look like an Al. You know, I don't have Al energy. I'm more of a Ty energy. You know.
There you go. And here I was, fearing there was some psychosis involved or anything like that. But good to know.
I mean, there might be a mild bit of psychosis as well. But yeah, you can call me Ty, you can call me Fang, you can call me Hey You, whatever you want.
I think we could even dig a little deeper here too, because this is not just like a only COVID thing, because this is happening all the time. There's people doing well, there's people not doing well. And it's like, okay, what do you focus on? Do you sit there and focus on everyone not doing well and feel bad for them and be this, this advocate for trying to help them? Or do you compare yourself to everyone doing better than you and you feel worse because of it? So it's like, it's this really tough thing to balance for anybody. And personally, I've realized I can't save everybody, and that there's always going to be people doing stuff better than me. So I think the ultimate lesson here is to not compare yourself to others. And it sounds so cliche and cheesy, but it's so true.
I think like when I think about like 10 years ago, like when we first, and wow, it has really been about 10 years. That's wild. When I think about,
sorry for making you feel old there, but
oh no. That's okay. My little sister does that for me already.
This is becoming very quickly a very deep and serious conversation, and people have no clue that before we hit record button, we were talking about naked yoga and jumping around like monkeys. So maybe
it's true. It's true.
Which is true.
So over time, it just became like a thing where people would like laugh and give me a cheeseburger every once in a while. So one of my best friends, Brittany, yeah, I mean, I really do. And then so one of my best friends, Brittany, she's actually with Keith, our drummer. She, 1 year for Christmas, decided she was gonna buy me a pair of burger slippers. And so, like, I would start wearing them after shows because, I mean, I was trying to wear heels at the time. And I was like, man, I'm going to put on these cheeseburgers afterwards. Why? I ain't going to wear them no more. I don't have to. And then we went on tour with Stradivarius, and I wore them at the end of that tour on stage with my tuxedo shirt, and everyone thought it was hysterical.
Everybody, yeah, it's weird. Everybody, like, freaks out over the burgers.
She's wearing sandwiches on her feet.
So, like, you're on stage out, and it's just like this weird pop where people like freak out. So it's just that happens more often now because we lay into it.
It's actually that when I don't wear them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, it's kind of hot.
I'd like welcome new Canadians, and let's bring more diversity and more culture. Let's open up cooler food shops. I want to try everything. We're moving at the end of the month, and we were kind of checking out the new neighborhood, and there's a Palestinian restaurant. I'm like so excited to try Palestinian food.
I really know the age of Apex because it's the same age as my firstborn son. Right?
Yeah.
My son is 5 years old. He was born during the recording of Apex, actually.
Unless none of you grew up in Norway, as far as I know. Where does this, for all of you, like where does that influence come from, or that fascination with European culture and music?
Maybe it's in our DNA.
Yeah. Our ancestors.
I think that we all have a European heritage, and so it's like, I don't know why, it's just our personalities. We tend, well, I guess I should only speak for myself, but yeah. I tend to gravitate towards the fact that, I have Irish heritage, so I really love going to Celtic fests and like learning about Irish folklore and stuff, because to me that's like my ancestors. I like hearkening back to that part of my history.
Yeah.
And this is a selfish question, because I don't know if you know, I don't think you know. We're 2.5 weeks away from the due date of my firstborn son.
I do know, man. I do. That's so exciting. That's crazy. That's awesome.
So 5 years of experience of that. Forget about Apex for a while. What is the one advice that as an experienced father to a father to be, what words of wisdom would you impart on me?
Dude, I don't even know if there's anything I really could say to prepare you for it. Is that, the thing you have to accept is that you are never going to be fully prepared, and you're never going to know all the answers, because every single person is completely different. Right. So what works for me might not work for you. And, and there's so many different variables. Like even between my 2 kids I have, they're so completely different. But you know, for me, the biggest thing is just, you know, I don't even know, just being there, being present with them as much as possible. Because as we're realizing right now, 5 years goes by so quick.
I feel like metal in the States is starting to gain a little bit more traction again.
If you just put an anvil on stage, I'll just jump on stage for, you know, the Scarred Clay song, and I'll just hit that anvil when you tell me to.
The day we're ever by you and playing a show, you are more than welcome to come on stage and hit that anvil. We'll try to get one for you.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I look at you like this show is for you, and I'm gonna look you in the eyes. And that's one of the best things is like when someone isn't really expecting it, or they don't know your band very well, and they're like kind of like watching, and then I'll like look at them and they'll be like, you know, it's just like, no. I was like, look at me, like, you know, it's really funny. Or if people are just kind of standing there like this, you know, I'll drill into them until they're like, okay, like she sees me standing here like this, I guess I better do something, you know, like that's the best moment. But it's like, you're not just a face in the crowd, bud. I see you.
The biggest logistical concern that we've run into with armor and costumes and stuff like that is actually doing laundry on tour. It's almost impossible, and I have apologized multiple times to the people, especially like on our European tour in Vienna. Like it was day 6, and we thought we were gonna get like a laundry, and we didn't bring enough like undershirts and stuff like that. And so people came up to us at the merch booth, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I know, I realize I don't like this any more than you do. I'm so sorry."
It just became like, you know, we play power metal. It's cheesy, so you know, and you know, don't take yourself too seriously is what the cheeseburgers mean, because you know, it's just, you know, just have some fun. That's basically what they mean. It's just like don't yourself too seriously.
I saw again the acoustic version you guys did for the Outlander in 2011. Where you offered some very high-pitched backing vocals. And I was going to ask you today if you missed singing and if you want to sing more, but you set the record straight by releasing your Barbie Girl cover 7 hours ago.
It's fantastic. You can just I'm bursting everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
Is that something that you would like to do more of, whether it's in a funny way or in this? Because we have Male Clean singing on Abyss, but that was done by Andrew, right? So you usually come in for the growling parts. Is that something you would like to explore more, like build more of a clean singing muscle?
That is a very good question. And I'm definitely open to it. Different voices and singing voices, especially on the albums, is really dependent on the characters in the story if it's needed. So that would be a thing that's really up to Britt. You know, I think I have a pretty good singing voice. So we'll see if we can. I'm definitely open to it if we want to mess around with it in the studio, and if it sounds good, we can go with it. Andy's got a great voice, right? So
yeah,
it's not something I've honestly thought about a lot lately. You know, I'm just really focused on writing new riffs and music, and kind of leave the singing for the professionals, so to speak.
It's just always busy around here. We're pretty much just constantly doing something. So I feel like we're never really in rest mode all that much, which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I don't know. But it seems fun.
He says wearing a house coat.
Yeah, right. I don't think I'm ever really resting or lounging all that much.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.